here we are in my kitchen, and my allergies are still bad. Oh, God. All right, so we have to make a recipe for Food Network Canada. I do a recipe a week on their website, foodnetwork.ca. I'm not really gonna show you the recipe because it's like exclusive to Food Network. So when it's posted, you'll have to go there. But I'll give you a few tips to go veg while we're talking. Why not? So if you want to become vegan eventually, you don't need to do it overnight. I think the number one thing you should start doing though is looking at the products you already have in your kitchen. Open up cupboards, open up the fridge, check dressing bottles, sauce bottles, packages, powdered things, crackers, cereals, and start familiarizing yourself with ingredients. So I'm not even telling you to make any change or eat anything differently for step one. Just see what you're dealing with and start becoming more comfortable going to the grocery store and reading labels, because you're gonna wanna always read ingredients. And it's good to just start to become familiar with what the nutrition facts are, like how much fat is in things, how much trans fat, saturated fat, sugar, fiber, and protein are really the ones you're gonna wanna focus on as well. You might not realize that honey is not vegan, gelatin is not vegan, modified milk ingredients are not vegan. Sometimes lactic acid is not vegan. And sometimes that's added to packaged goods like breads and crackers. For the most part, you might already be eating foods that are actually vegan, you wouldn't even realize it. So that's why I just want you to start to understand what you're eating already that is vegan, because going vegan isn't about taking everything away and being left with no food and starving to death. You're actually gonna start adding a lot more to your diet that you probably weren't eating. Because the example I give is when I was an omnivore, there were all kinds of vegetables and fruits I just never ate because I was used to eating the same things. And I think in general, people eat the exact same things all the time. And when you go vegan and you eliminate your crutch on dairy, cheese, meat, then the world and the variety of food that comes your way is actually, there's so much out there that you can eat. So if it helps, I have this app called Animal Free on my phone, and when I go to the grocery store, if I'm not sure about an ingredient, I just check. See, so lactic acid is one you'll see a lot of. Naturally found in blood and muscle tissue, most commercial uses are derived from the fermentation of sugars in whey, cornstarch, potatoes, or molasses, and may also have vegan sources. On vegan products, you'll see lactic acid will say from vegan source. And then for the most part, I'm usually with breads and stuff like that, I don't worry too much, but I don't buy any like breads or crackers that have lactic acid. But like, I know sometimes when I first started in the past, like if I was eating a bun somewhere and it may have had lactic acid derived from an animal thing, I wasn't worrying about it. So you're gonna go in stages until, and do what makes you feel comfortable. So my second tip for going vegan would be to also, again, keeping in mind that you're not taking away all of your food options. You're going to be adding a lot of variety in fruits and vegetables. But to start, you might want some substitutes. You might want vegan meat, dairy, and egg substitutes. So the best thing to do is go online and look up vegan egg substitutes, vegan dairy substitutes, vegan meat substitutes, and see what's available at your local grocery store. I would be hard pressed to believe that there aren't some substitutes available at your local grocery store, even if you live in a small town. Eve's products, YVES, are sold at pretty much every grocery store I've ever been to. I really like Gardein. Those are veggie burgers. They do chicken fingers, chicken strips, all kinds of products. Those may or may not be available where you are. You can even ask your grocery store to order in products, because most likely they can. And if there's a demand and you're making those purchases and there's a demand for them, then they will continue to order them. But they could probably do it even as a trial basis to see how it does, because grocery stores are bringing in new products all the time. Cheese and meat are so expensive, so the excuse of eating vegan is more expensive is a total lie. Yes, I buy like high quality organic ingredients, but you don't have to do that. Again, you can look at a list of like, there's the dirty dozen, things you should absolutely buy organic, and then things you can get away buying non-organic. And sometimes you'll go to the grocery store and you'll see that the organic produce is the same price as the non-organic produce. So it's a BS excuse that it is more expensive to be vegan in terms of your grocery bill, because it is not. Now that you've familiarized yourself with ingredients and products that you can now buy as a vegan, start replacing one meal at a time. So if breakfast is your favorite meal and you always eat eggs, start with breakfast, because that might be your biggest challenge. If it's dinner and you always eat meat at dinner, start with dinner. A good resource is, of course, Instagram. Hot for Food is on Instagram, at Hot for Food, for lots of ideas. But there's like so many food accounts on Instagram and so many blogs that you have no excuse. There's so much information available online that you can sift through, bookmark all your favorite recipes, try things. You know, some things are more complicated than others, but it's not all hard and it's not all easy. So find what works for you. You can pretty much Google vegan anything. Vegan tacos, that's an easy one. Vegan fish tacos, I'm about to post something right now actually to Instagram that we made for Food Network. It's grilled cauliflower tacos. And they have an avocado cream and mango slaw, and they're really fresh and delicious, great for summer. So my third tip is pretty much to replace one meal, that's it, and see if you can do it. I think a good one to start with is actually breakfast, because I started making smoothies with protein powder. I used Vega protein powder when I first started to transition, and hemp hearts and kale I would put in, and lots of healthy, nutritious stuff to start my day off right. And then that would set the tone for the day, and I would feel like, well, I started breakfast really well. I can't very well fail when it comes to dinner time. So I felt like starting with breakfast is the best thing to do when trying to transition into being vegan. If you are interested in trying a vegan protein powder, I recommend Vega. It's raw, it's gluten-free, it's all of your nutrition that you need in one scoop. It's crazy, and they have amazing flavors, and you don't have to buy a big case like this. You can go get little packages, trial size ones to start. And I found it was the best thing to kind of get me in the groove of being vegan. It started giving me the nutrition that I was lacking as an omnivore, actually. It started replacing my protein intake with plant-based proteins, so it readjusts your digestive system. It almost does somewhat of a cleanse. If you've never used this before, you kind of cleanse out your system by taking it every day. And I didn't even use a full scoop when I started. I just started with half a scoop, and found that throughout the day I ate enough other food to supplement the nutritional needs that I needed. There's lots of vegan proteins, but what you're looking for is a vegan raw protein with whole food ingredients. You don't want synthetic vitamins. You don't want whey added in there, because whey is also a non-vegan ingredient that comes from milk, and a lot of protein powders use whey as the source of protein. So this one, for instance, is pea protein, flaxseed, hemp protein. And then it's got all kinds of vegetables, probiotics, spirulina, calcium from algae and seaweed. So that's the kind of stuff you're looking for. In fact, you don't even need to read the Vega label, because I'm telling you to just pick it off the shelf and you're good to go. So another tip, just to go along with some of the other things that I said, is that you shouldn't just throw out everything in your cupboard and your fridge. So yeah, you were checking ingredients just to become aware of the ingredients, but consume stuff, because don't waste it, and then slowly replace those things with vegan-friendly versions. You're basically gonna have to restock your pantry and your fridge, but do that over time. Don't overwhelm yourself or your wallet or your credit card with having to go buy all new things all at once. Nobody's, saying there's a right or wrong way to do this, and eventually you're going to get to the place where you are full-time vegan, because you're going to notice the changes when you eat that way, and you're going to really feel what your body does when you put those animal ingredients back into your system, how it reacts, because it ain't going to like it. I hope that you learn how to cook too, because going vegan, you really are going to need to learn how to make a few things. You're going to want to learn how to make your favorite foods at home and make homemade versions, because they're going to be healthier. You're going to know the ingredients that are in them. And I found that by going vegan, I actually got into cooking a whole lot more. I liked cooking as a kid, but I got into it a lot more once I became vegan, because I found it exciting and fun to try to replace ingredients in baking. For instance, I actually started baking first a lot, because I thought vegan baking tasted better. Once I replaced the eggs and the butter and the cream, it tasted so much cleaner, and you'll notice the flavor and the difference. Everything tastes more. It tastes more real when it's vegan. I feel like the animal ingredients sort of muddle everything up. Okay, so I'm gonna keep making my recipe here because you're distracting me. I can't get any work done. But this is a good start, I think, on tips for going vegan. If you have any other questions, leave them below so we can do a part 2, and I'll answer those questions. And this will just be in addition to #AskLauren. This will be strictly about vegan diet stuff, I guess. Kind of a behind the scenes to Hot for Food. Keep watching my vlogs. Thank you for tuning in. Subscribe. There's a little red button right there if you like what you see. Also, head on over to Hot for Food's channel, which is my vegan cooking channel. If you would like recipe ideas, we try to do vegan comfort food. We try to make vegan fun and hot and sexy and not boring and granola and you know, whatever, like that. We're trying to make it fun because we want the whole world to go vegan. So follow Hot for Food on YouTube. There's a link right here and in the description below. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.